Thank you all for being here. We know you guys have all traveled from far and near. We really appreciate it, and we're ready to get started. We hope you all will have some fun today and maybe benefit from these lectures. Thank you.
Your Majesty, you are welcome to Houston for the LECDA convention, and I will invite the crowd here to stand up one more time and give Your Majesty another wonderful round of applause. Can we stand and give Your Majesty, please? Thank you so much.
His Majesty Beckham, ma foi, ladies and gentlemen, you are all welcome to this 25th edition of LECDA. We are convening today under the theme LEBLM at Crossroads, pathfinding in a challenging time. As we, as the BLM people, struggle for survival back home, we here in the US are equally going through a lot of hard times as a result of lack of information related to economic issues, health, immigration. So this, on this day, we are going to be having several presenters that will cover all these various themes that are related to our theme of the convention, as we also join hands to celebrate our 25th anniversary. So without much ado, I will hereby call this meeting to order. Today, Saturday, 1st, 2019. and that is probably at 11 a.m. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Dr. Demano, for calling the meeting. In terms of chapter report, I will want to put everything together. We'll start with the host chapter, and that will give our brother an opportunity to welcome us to Houston. So I will call on the president of Houston, Mr. Valentine, to come and welcome us, and at the same time present your chapter report.
Thank you. On behalf of LECDA Houston and my humble self, I would like to welcome each and every one of you here today to this event. We call it once in a lifetime event because we are not going to see another 25 years again. We are going to see something beyond 25 years. So we are here for our silver jubilee, and it comes at a point when our people are in despair. So it makes the occasion so unique that we have to take it to a different level of sacrifice. I would want to appreciate those who turned out yesterday for the barbecue event. You made it a great success. I want to call on my Houston members for the wonderful job that they have put in place for us to have this occasion the way it is. It wasn't easy, but we did it. As the saying goes, Houston strong. I think we just manifested that during this event. It has not been easy, but with our hands put together, we've been able to come this far. I say thank you very much. You all get the credit for the success of this event so far. We know some people are still on their way to make it here, and we cannot keep waiting until they get here before we go with the program, so we just have to roll. And I want to say that Houston, we have everything in place, so feel free to do whatever thing you want. It is a jubilee, which means you celebrate and even go beyond celebration. And for that reason, we have some of those things brought from Le Femme and Le Beau, all the way from Cameroon, from Le BLM. They are here. You should feel free to go in there and have a taste of them, please. And for the evening event, I will just make mention of it here, that make it special just as we've already made this event special. And where are we sitting today? In Houston. We took that challenge. It was that we won't be able to host this event. But when we asked ourselves a question, when are we capable of hosting a convention? We had no answer. And we said we had to start somewhere. So let's go for it. And good enough, we all dedicated to make this event great. And we decided to host the convention. And that I say thank you, LECDA Houston. Thank you, thank you, thank you very much.
I will call on Dr. Solomon Betanga to continue with the Georgia report. Thank you.
Your Majesty, the founder of Fundamental, the camp, traditional rulers, invited guests, ladies and gentlemen. We are here to celebrate our Silver Jubilee. Can we all clap for ourselves for our Silver Jubilee? Happy anniversary, everybody. Okay. Now, Georgia, as you all know, is the brain behind our foundation. Our membership we are now 53 of us, 53 members of the BLM in Georgia. Our strength, what keeps us together is our unity and love for one another during good and bad times. Our main cultural activity is the the Assembly, which is led by himself, Chief Otonga, which you are going to see us display today. We won numerous awards and we are here to win again. On education, we all know why we are here because we are educated people. The Vietnam people are very educated people. And we continue that, we carry that legacy from our parents, some of whom are not here, but they were not educated, but they gave us all they had to enable that all of us here could read and write. And so the future of the BLM, I mean, you could not even get a visa to come to America except without being able to read and write, except the mother and the parents. So we are so grateful for what our parents did to us. And so we are continuing with that legacy. Finally, LECDA Georgia remains very committed to LECDA USA in any shape or form. Long live LECDA USA.
I will call on Mr. jpicassofilm from New York, New Jersey to come and present that report.
Your Royal Majesty, the chiefs, the camps, Mafos, ladies and gentlemen, good morning. I stand here on behalf of LECDA, New York, New Jersey, to pledge our unflinching support to LECDA USA. LECDA, New York, New Jersey has been existing since 2001, and your humble servant here has been a member of LECDA, New York, New Jersey since inception. We have 21 registered members. Although when I look at the list, I still see some members who have paid directly to LECDA National without passing through us. I beg those members to please make sure they can join us. That said, I will ask all members of LECDA, New York, New Jersey to stand up here so that you can see our commitment to LECDA National. Please, those who came from New York, stand up. So you can see that we are not just talking, we are walking the talk. We hold meetings every 2 months, but what keeps us together is the solidarity and love that we keep among ourselves. We have our normal njangis that keeps us together. We make sure we call each other and look at each other and ask, oh, how are you doing? This njangis, what we call in Bangwa Achu, helps us to do what? It helps us to pay our bills, our commitments towards LECDA. And all of us, when we decide to say we are paying our dues to LECDA, we write one check. It doesn't go different checks. We write one check and give it to LECDA. Proposals. The first thing we want to propose to LECDA and to other members or the other groups that are wishing to form themselves is that LECDA General needs our help. LECDA General needs all of us together to work and to grow. Because if a man says progression ensemble, we can only progress together, we cannot progress individually. So let us make sure, you cannot say, oh, I have an idea and then you stay behind. Let us work together to promote LECDA to move on. And that is why the signature, all of us are applauding LECDA Live.
The president of Arizona is not here, but he wrote his report and sent with me, so I am going to start by setting the 3-minute example by presenting the report from Arizona. And I will write it as it was written and sent to me by the president. Your Royal Majesty, the Executive of LECDA USA, the President and the Executive of LECDA Houston, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, LECDA Arizona is happy to be here today in Houston for the first time. We do appreciate the existence of this branch and its tremendous achievement. Many hands do like work. Welcome on board. We look forward to the creation of many more branches. Holding a convention is a very challenging and rewarding, especially for a young branch like yours. We do recognize and thank the President, his executive, and the people of Houston for receiving, housing, and feeding us so far during our stay here. Arizona hosted this summit 3 years ago, and our record is still unchallenged, though the spirit should animate us is standing by each other and pushing LECDA USA forward. LECDA Arizona has a membership of 46 active members. We lost one of our members last year in a ghastly motor accident in the person of Lady Mami Margaret Engengeza. She was a member of SAGI and was trying to register with LECDA Life before her untimely death. May we stand and observe a minute of silence in her memory and all the BLM sons and daughters who lost their life last year. May her soul and the soul of all the faithful departed rest in peace. Thank you. I will call on LECDA Michigan. Who's here with a report from LECDA Michigan? Deacon Tom. Thank you. So let's give him an applause, please. He's been the chief financial. You can see the richness of LECDA USA that is reflected in here. Thank you.
Thank you, MC, the Royal Majesty, the chiefs, notables, ladies and gentlemen. LECDA Michigan is strong and healthy. LECDA Michigan sends greetings to all of you. During the January meeting, an election was held in Michigan. And unfortunately, as a founding member and president of that group, who had been out of leadership for 4 years, I was re-elected as the president of that chapter. Activities. Monthly meetings. We move from one member's house to the other. We do children activities. Encourage culture among our children. We do a community outreach. This is extending LECDA culture to the enlarged Cameroon community in Michigan. We have recommendations from Michigan. Bravo, LECDA Life. Please keep this up, and we will urge each and every community, not only the chapters, like LECDA Michigan, to become members of LECDA Life. We are asking the leadership to continue to do monthly outreach to the chapters. This will keep the chapters committed. And lastly but not the least, we do understand understand that the General Assembly elects the board, chapters bring their representative, General Assembly elects the board, and the board chooses the CEO. LECDA Michigan is highly recommending Professor Kezen as our next CEO. That said, ladies and gentlemen, I would like to thank Mr. Pascal for saying that I have been CFO for 4 years. As the outgoing CFO, I have been there for 11 years.
So, while it looks like California needs to put certain things together, but we'll continue to LECDA, Minnesota, and I will call on His Royal Highness for Jehu for Minnesota to come with a Minnesota report. Thank you.
I was not mandated to be here to report on behalf of LECDA Minnesota, but I felt it important that I should do it. Because LECDA Minnesota is the most important chapter in LECDA USA that is not participating in LECDA USA. Here is one. There are 170 members, registered members in Minnesota. No other chapter has 100 registered members. But they don't participate in LECDA USA. I had a discussion with Professor Gezen and Marfo Akendi. They made a trip because I told them that they have to come to Minnesota. They came to Minnesota, visited with our president, Dr. Manny for region, and they came to my palace and they attended a meeting. I want them to keep that effort. Whoever is going to be the next president of this organization needs to keep that effort. For some reason, I think it was sometime in the early 2000s, there was a lot of complaints about LECDA USA. LECDA Minnesota used to be the only chapter that paid its dues like what New York is doing now. We used to send a check of all of our members to LECDA USA. And my brother, Aser, can even talk about it too, because he was a member there before he moved to Arizona, and was one-time president. So we're doing very well, but then LECDA Minnesota did not see what they were doing reflected back to them and to Levialem as a whole. So they were so disgruntled, and they decided to withdraw. We hosted one convention. I think it was after that convention that they withdrew, because what they saw they did not like. But you don't leave your family or your house because somebody did something wrong. You talk about it, you make amends, and you move on. Culture is what will make this organization survive. I'm glad, look at what we're doing here. This is what we need to do. Dance is our culture, our artifacts. And then when we present that, we can get grants from this government, because this country promotes culture and art. And if we get those grants, then we can turn around and give it to the funders that participate to go to development. So that will bring the funders to the organization. If we compete with them, we will lose them. So I want to thank you for this opportunity, for changing this date. That's why I'm here. If it was last week, I would be in Baltimore in the Super Convention, and I would not have been here. So thank you.
Again, the Vietnam people, Christian chapter. There is something I want to let all the Vietnam people know. Is that if you are a real Vietnam person and you know what a Bangla man has gone through when we are under my definition, you will never joke when they talk about the Vietnam. I say this clearly. When I was a teacher in primary school, teaching children, I knew that the town of Mafia would have to pay to see that to show our population. Everything from Meiji, from Tempe to Mafia and die there. Doesn't go anywhere. We'll do everything and go to Mafia and die there. But after a long cry, the government took us from my engagement and said, okay, you want to be on your own. And again, we don't want to really see ourselves to be on our own. I don't know what we want. But I'm just saying that if you know the importance of this division, you will not play with it. So I want to thank you so much that even though there's no full functional American, I don't think that is unable to host a convention. So if the new incoming BOT works well, there's no problem. Maryland will do it and will do it better. So thank you very much.
Good afternoon and good morning. My name is Charlene Gosser. I'm here on behalf of LECDA USA, and I'm representing the president who is unavoidably could not be here today. And I'm honored to be here. We've heard from all the chapters, and we want to appreciate what the current executive is doing. And like people say, they want the current CEO to continue the job. I'm not too versed with LECDA, but I would say I'm seeing a few things they're doing. To begin with, I want to thank LECDA for bringing every one of us from different fundams to be here today to work in collaboration to develop our community, which is the BLM in general. We appreciate the work that LECDA is doing to strengthen our community, and there's no doubt that the BLM would not be any better without LECDA as the umbrella. However, we, the LECDA USA, have a few suggestions to the Board of Trustees for LECDA USA. We are suggesting, just like I know a few people have said, that LECDA, which is the umbrella, should focus on writing projects, fundraising, put that money together, and pass it down to the various fundums to use it in their development. The development of the fundums is carried out mostly by those fundums individually. But if the LECDA USA can focus on raising money and putting that money together, that money can be raised through fundraising, showcasing our culture, which is why we're here today. I am a very fan to culture, going to places, presenting our culture, dancing, doing artifacts and stuff like that will generate us a lot of money. We can take that money and then go back to our fundums and say, okay, here's what we have. What projects do you guys have at hand that you want to, embark on? We hand that money to them so they can be able to do a great job. Bringing the various fundums on board. I know a lot of people, I was just listening to different speeches, I'm like, they already say my speech, they already say what I want to say. And we are also calling on LECDA to be more transparent in representing themselves in the United States. And by that saying that they should encourage LECDA, we are encouraging LECDA to have more people, bring more people to the Board of Trustees, having the various fundums to be part of it. Because as a member of LECDA USA, I would only know what is going on in LECDA through my president or someone that is getting some information from LECDA. Lewa Palace was broken into by the BLM Red Dragons, the Amazonian. We came to LECDA, talked to them, explained the situation that had happened. They had made away with artifacts and some personal cultural items were taken away. We discussed with LECDA, trying to see how LECDA USA, as a diaspora in general, can help us to bring these things back, or how we can even figure out how we can trace to know where these things are. And up to how we speak today, nothing has been done about that. We do not know if LECDA USA, which is the umbrella, has forgotten LECDA USA or has forgotten our consents, or those consents are not really valid. We also call on the transparency to say if we want to help one fundum, we know that all the fundums are struggling in general. We should be transparent in how we support the different fundums. That being said, I don't have too much to say. God bless LECDA USA. God bless all of us sitting here, and God bless America.
The Kodo CEO is not here, but he called me and delegated me to say a few words. That the Kodo work hand in hand with LECDA, but the Kodo has always been so disgruntled that the way LECDA shares its benefits does not go proportionally, so that people feel that the Kodo does not really give their place, so LECDA does not give their place in terms of sharing whatever dividends or everything, whatever thing they are sharing. So indeed, we're advising that no matter that does not even have much, but no matter how little it is, invite the various condoms and let them know what you have. Because if you go out as homo, some condoms will think that you prefer some other condoms than others. For example, the case of the benches in the days of Professor Nzembu, when they shared benches to schools and more benches are given to Wabani who don't contribute a dime, and they would let the bank have that was the main problem of the Rukudu people. So the Rukudu now should start sharing, LECDA should be sharing now whatever thing they have proportionally. So these are the few words. During the fundraiser, I will hand the envelope that Tabas needs, so it's not now. So for now, those are the few points that
Dean Kembele to come and give a report from the Sultan.
Thank you. Your Majesty, Your Royal Highnesses, Honorable BOT members, ladies and gentlemen. First of all, I want to thank LECDA USA for giving me the opportunity to represent the people of Esota at this Silver Jubilee celebration. I have attended a good number of LECDA summits, and this is the second time I'm attending in my capacity as the president of the Esota Development Association USA. Like other founder associations, LECDA USA aims at bringing together sons and daughters of Esota in USA with the objectives of helping ourselves and contributing towards local development back home. I took over the presidency of LECDA USA in June 2017 and will be 2 years in office next week. I will also appeal to LECDA USA again to be more inclusive in their approach to membership by paying the same attention to founder associations they do to LECDA chapters. Rather than rely only on legitimate LECDA chapters and branches to constitute the board, I will propose we'll have founders representatives in the board as well as we move towards our next election. This way, BOT will not only be representative of the active LECDA chapters, but also different founders that make up the BLM division. I wish to invite you all to our next convention in Maryland from June 21st to June 23rd at the West Bowie Village Hall, holding under the theme Navigating Our Culture and Development During Challenging Times. Again, thank you so much for this wonderful opportunity. Accept warm greetings from His Majesty for Asomdie II and all the people of Esota. May we have a great convention. Thank you.
Thank you very much for giving me the floor. As you know, we are going through a lot of challenges, as I said earlier, and Muhammad is not left alone with those challenges. In 2013, I was elected as the president of Wakudu USA. When I came in, my mandate was to bring pipe-borne water to the community. Stemming from the fact that I had provided pipe-borne water to people in my neighborhood in Mohamedo. And so I wanted to extend that initiative to the entire village. So we organized a convention in Maryland in 2014. We raised funds to the tune of $15,000. But when we started the implementation phase, we ran into several hurdles, which I will not need to enumerate here. In the process of that, we, in 2006, the crisis started. So we were not been able to implement that project. And we have these funds in the coffers, and we say, okay, I came up with a proposal, say, but we don't even know if our people will survive to drink this water. Why can't we deviate part of this money to ensure that the people are being fed? But I met with a lot of resistance people said no. When we came to Maryland to raise funds was for water, and so we have our colleagues who are asking if we have executed the project or not, and we don't want to go back and say no, we use the money for something else. So I understood that line of reasoning. And so last year, towards the end of 2018, we started raising funds to support the internally displaced. And so it came, the first information that we received was that the people, the students who were going to school in the village, in our fondom, had, a good number of them had moved to Cham. Those who were able to move to Cham did so, but the folks in the neighboring village, from Gutulong and others, they blocked the road. And so their moms who were used to harvest yams and carry to Cham to sell could not do that anymore. They couldn't even take food to Cham to give to those kids. And so somebody reached out to me and said they was almost starving. And so we raised money here. The first phase was the tune of $2,000 to support the internally displaced students. Okay, the last thing I would want to mention is we are about 60 registered members in the US. And that number we are more than that, but just 60 registered members. That number may not sound many to you, but I'll say in the early 2000s, there were just about 2 of us here in the US. But right now, we had, just this year, we had 2 of us who defended and graduated with their degrees in pharmacy, that is PharmD, Doctor in Pharmacy. I don't like to talk about myself. Most of you might have also heard that. As the president, I was promoted from assistant professor to associate professor with tenure at Ball State University in Indiana. I will stop here. Thank you very much.
Peace to Your Majesty, in form of Nualdo. Accept my greetings. Their Royal Highnesses, the beauty of LECDA USA, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, I greet you all. I'm here on behalf of the Nwango Cultural and Development Association, Nwakuda USA, which is a very young fund-on chapter to LECDA USA. If you remember well, if you were in Georgia last year, you will notice that it is by then that this chapter was introduced to LECDA USA. And since then, we have been doing our best to contribute to the development and to the run out of activities in LECDA USA. My chapter is a very young chapter, as I said. Last year we were about 15 members registered. This year we registered about 5 more members who just came. And in 2 years of existence, I personally have embarked on a trade, meet the people trade, because I believe that as their leader, I don't have to stay and wait for a convention for us to meet. So I have to move from state to state, meet the people, and I've been doing that since 2 years now. Thank you. To this year or today is an election year in LECDA, USA. Believe me, I know how things has been going home, how we used to do things home when I used to be in the CPDM. We just do motion de soutien, motion of support, and finally we go by consensus and we will say this is who will be our next leader. And I've already seen that going on here in LECDA, USA. Even in as much as I think the present team or board is doing a good job, I still believe that we should refrain and restrain from motions of support before the election and give a chance to that election to happen. At the end, we shall start waiting for the next year. So, saying that, I would like to stop here for now. Thank you so much for your attention. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Chief. We are going to invite the chiefs and becams to join Your Majesty for the pouring of the traditional libation. I will invite the ladies to get the dishes ready. After the traditional libation, we'll be going straight to eat. And then when we come back from eating, we are going to have the State of LECDA, USA, by our CEO, Professor Gezer. So, Marfo.
I'm very, very happy. I'm grateful for the invitation tendered to me very recently by your board chairman to attend the celebration of the Silver Jubilee 2019. I wish to start by recognizing the presence of our dear dynamic BLM notables and elite. That is before the term and our Mafos. And I want to recognize the presence of our reputable friends of BLM, like those who have just made a presentation here. I also want to tell you, for those who don't know me, I'm His Majesty the Form of Fujimeta, also known as Kwamito, and I should tell you people that those who can go to the Bama Intelligentsia studies, you will know that the 9 kingdoms of Bama had 2 names. Every kingdom has 2 names. So that is why you can either say Fon of So I think if you continue like that, you can get it all over in all the 9, but not the 17. So in that capacity as a fund, as one of the funds, I call on the Almighty God, the Creator of heaven and earth, through the intercessions of our ancestors, the ancestors of all the 17, the ancestors of all the subjects who we are all representing here, to come in and guide us through these deliberations in this momentous 2019, the BLM Summit. I wish also to recognize the presence of my professor, retired Professor Jam, who is here. I'm very happy to meet him again. And I wish to recognize the presence of the Wilcox, who is not a fair weather friend, but a part and parcel the BLM person. And as I say this, I would like to thank all of you. I said nobody will sit, but at least we stand to beseech the Almighty God, Creator of heaven and earth, to warmly receive our fatalities, I call them fatalities, as well as give us enough means to reconstruct the lives of our people still alive, as well as rebuild our ancestral lands. For this, I will pray that all of us gathered here
stand up and observe a minute of silence in honor of our innocent martyrs. Thank you very much. I would like to invite the return, our Mafwas and the phone to follow me to the door of this great building for us to pour the libations. I stand here, I call upon you, our ancestors, to bring the Almighty into our midst, to make LECDA USA a united family of mutual love, peace and unity, because they are our life, to relieve the sufferings of your people. I stand here as one of these funds to call on you to come with all your people, our ancestors, and beg the Almighty God to bless that these our nobles, our notables, our elite gathered here in the diaspora, especially here in the United States, everything that they do today should go in the way that it will be able to alleviate the sufferings of our people. And I say this in the name of our ancestors. I think we'll just answer amen.
Amen.
I throw this water that everybody who passes into this house, to this great hall, should enter in good faith. And everything that comes out from his mouth should be love, peace, and for the promotion of unity, and that our people should come back again to life and live as they used to do.
Yes, one day, yes, one day. Oh, could you feel a lesson for you, Leon? Thank you. Let's go for lunch.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. We're about to serve lunch. The ladies are all ready. If you look at the program, lunch is for an hour, but we're going to cut it down to 30 minutes because we started late. Because we have a lot of other presentations that we need to do for the rest of the afternoon.
Right here.
Can you guys to stand?
Can someone turn on the light? Put on the light.
Okay, thank you. Can you guys to stand, Dr. Fomeche? Thank you, sir, for all you've done for us. And you'll be doing so. Okay.
Another one.
Barrister, they come there. Thank you, sir, for all you've done. Our others there, not yet, maybe they're still on their way. I thank all my brothers, sir, because it is on their shoulders that will be built, irrespective of the challenges they've had. Now, we have had so many challenges, but this is where we were 1,090 something days ago, as I said. This was the state of LECDA USA.
So in this presentation, I'll talk about where we met LECDA, where we've taken LECDA, the challenges we've encountered, and a possible vision for the next CEO, because we must change. We must change. There must be growth. People must come with fresh ideas to strengthen this organization. Membership of and presentation or participation at LECDA meetings was, of course, alarmingly low. Convention halls were empty. LECDA chapters were reduced to just 2 active chapters, LECDA Georgia and LECDA Michigan. Of course, LECDA was weakened to the extent that in 2015, no dues were being corrected. And because of this, Georgia said they will not stand by and LECDA die, and then LECDA died. They sent a 5-man delegation to Michigan, and they rescued LECDA, and they promised that every 2 chapters will make the living feature in this great nation. If they go away, 2 people will stand, and we stood our ground there. Also, by the time we took office, we had just about $2,500 in our account, as the CFO can tell you. And after we've not been doing any major project, and we've raised it to more than $20,000 within a short time. LECDA was virtually dead or in coma when we took over. LECDA looks like it's a melting pot. It's no longer just for a year. I want it for a purpose. I'm the one small little hat, even though I don't have the title. But I like to dress this way to equal what the BLM is about. And let's push forward. Okay. Thank you so much, but excuse me for one thing before I go. And let me start off by thanking there's a special award for a chapter that sent a delegation to rescue LECDA from Ghana. And that goes to LECDA Georgia. Dr. Betania. Thank you, sir, for sending us to go and protect me. All right. Oh, okay. Oh. When we send them, they were warmly received, fed, and they threw wonderful ideas on us, and that's why we created an 8-man list of coordinators to run LECDA on Durham elections. And Michigan takes that award for risking LECDA USA from collapse in 2015. Thank you, sir. Thank you. There is a lady in this room. There are some people who don't talk. They hide. Not that they're hiding, they don't like things for life. Let that lie, look at that. There's a lady who has been doing this for us, free of charge. And she's translated LECDA life even into Spanish. And she's recruiting Mexicans even to join us. And this award is given to a special lady for pro bono services to LECDA USA Life, LECDA Life. And that award goes to this special beautiful lady, Dr. Edith Fobeche. She's been doing a wonderful job. Our numbers are up because of you, Mama. You're doing the wonderful job. Thank you. We say, can we pay you? She said, no, these are my brother. No, these are my sister. Thank you. Then, there are some 2 girls in this room. When you recruit a woman who can fight with teeth and nails, you have a soldier. There are some 2 girls in this room. I call them girls because I play with them too much. They've helped me. They've stood by me every step of the way. You can go and tell these things in a brutal way and listen. And I want to give this award, presented from LECDA USA, for dedication and selflessness to LECDA. And this goes to our beloved Marco and Josephine. on the phone for long, went to Minnesota, taking the deal of the BLM out to convince him to eat it out with him in Washington so he doesn't hurt our people. You forgot it? And this other young lady, this one is just very different. She's very brutal with the truth. She hates lies. And she'll call me and tell me as it is. When you give me a phone call, she's not going to say, "Probably good job." You say you're doing a good job, but that's not what you're doing. I say, yes, ma'am. This one goes to the lady who has been very dedicated to the organization for professionalism, dedication, and integrity. I put integrity intentionally. And this goes to no other one but Dr. Pam from
That's my ball.
All right, that's it. Please, I want us to give LECDA Houston a standing ovation. Thank you for all you've done. And
organization. This organization is an umbrella, and we should look at it like that. It's an umbrella who is going to carry the entire funders in the BLM. The next CEO has to be very, very steady. They have to have a steady hand. They have to be very diplomatic. They will inquire insults. There will be lots of challenges. But together, we will move this organization forward. And I also want to say that I'm committed and will remain committed to the BLM.
Okay, so I want to talk about the cultural differences between Lebeau and Leblons. As you know, I hold my title in Lebeau, but many of the people that I'm used to interacting with are from Lebeau. Just kidding. All right, next. Seriously. America versus okay, next slide. Next slide. Okay, so but here's the thing. Before I talk about the differences, I want to talk about the similarities. It's really not as different as you might think. I grew up in the South. Next slide. And as a Southerner, I've learned that my roots really are more in West Africa than they are in Europe. Let's talk about some of those things. I grew up in Georgia. And so the food, all right, we ate okra. Next. Just keep going. Simply grilled meats. Next. Steamed in the village. Keep going. And then that in turn, that was the basis of rock and roll, which began in New Orleans. And it was all based on that West African culture of the Mardi Gras Indians. Next. And then it's interesting that it comes back from New Orleans again to these jazz bands that we know about in the village. Okay, next. Terrain and climate, there's Georgia. Next. And then the final thing, here's the biggest cultural difference of all. I love strong Belgian beer. And almost, first of all, you can't get it in anywhere in Africa, period, just about. And so most of the events, you're used to drinking, Heineken and so on, and not many of you are used to drinking these Belgian beers, so I had to address it. So, anyway, thanks.
Alright, so we'll call on our next speaker, who is going to be Mr. George Mufo.
I was honored that I was told to present something about healthy eating and living, because we in America, we have had so many problems, especially the young children that are growing up now, because in 1980, the statistics show that CDC produced a statistic between 1980 and 2012, the young children, the obese on teen, jumped from 5% to 18%. And children from 12 to to 16, a jump from 7% to 21%. And this is very dangerous. And we need to be careful and look at that. Before I get to my presentation, I just have to align this. I know we have only 10 minutes to talk about this, but we have to be very careful, especially the young children that are grown up in this country, to be careful with them, even the adult, because the insurance is not cheap, it's very expensive. So we have to try to keep ourselves healthy as much as possible, because we have 1/10% of the population in America overweight. And do you want to continue at that rate? No, we don't. We want, because that's why the insurance is so high in this country. So let me get to my presentation. Okay. Rules for healthy living. We need to look at this. Less soda, more water. Less alcohol, more tea. Less sugar, more fruit. Less meat, more vegetable. Less drinking, more walking. Please, when you go to the store, park as far away as you can and walk to the store. It will save life. Okay, this one is. Can you go back? Okay, kidney. Kidney is very important part of our body. So we need to detox our kidney. By doing that, we have to get these juices and make sure we drink it to balance our system, to balance our body. About 30 million Americans have kidney problems because 30 million, that's a high number. So because we don't control what we take, we don't control our kidneys, we don't clean our kidneys. Kidneys, they separate blood in our body. Waste, take out waste in our system. So we have to be very careful and make sure, look at the food you need to eat. Next slide, one step please. Okay, avoid using tobacco. I know in our society, we're very dumb. The use of tobacco causes 443,000 deaths in 2010 in the US, according to National Cancer Institute. Stop using chewing tobacco to avoid oral cancer. Tobacco causes lung, esophagus, kidney, and bladder cancer in the United States. Pregnant women who smoke are more likely to deliver babies with low birth weights. With that, if there's any question, you can ask. Yes.
Our next speaker is going to be Dr. Tejan.
So we get a lot more serious than the other conversation before. This is a topic that I feel is extremely important for our community. I'll tell you a short story. About 10 years ago, 15 years ago, I was a fellow in training at Temple University in Philadelphia. And I'll never forget, I was sent to see a 25-year-old young man from Nigeria, surrounded by 3 children, a young wife. He had sent the family ahead of time, but just came to join them. When he arrived at the airport, his wife noticed his eyes were yellow. Took him to the hospital, and I was the unfortunate fellow that had to inform him that he had metastatic liver cancer. So of course, the whole family was asking me, he's 25, how could he have liver cancer that is spread throughout his body? Well, this is extremely important. So that's the backdrop for this discussion today. Okay, because many of us in our community are not aware of this disease. And many of us have never even been tested. We assume that because you've been to a doctor, you've had blood work, surely they've checked you for everything. But let me tell you that if a physician does not specifically order this test, you have not been tested for hepatitis B. If you were born outside of the United States, you have likely never been tested for hepatitis B. All right, so with that, let's begin. What is hepatitis B? So hepatitis B is a virus. We're going to have some usual problems. We're used to it by now, right? So hepatitis B is a virus. It's a virus that causes liver disease, to be short, okay? Hepatitis just means inflammation. Hepa is liver, so inflammation of the liver. So that's pretty simple. There are multiple hepatitis viruses. B is just one of them, okay? Now, hepatitis B, this is just to show you the progression of hepatitis B from a normal liver through severe inflammation all the way to cirrhosis. Sadly, many people in our community are already living with it at this point, and they're not even aware, even this point. The interesting part about hepatitis B, unlike every other hepatitis virus, all other hepatitis viruses, you need to go through this progression to get cancer. Hepatitis B can get cancer in this normal appearing liver. This is why this disease is so deadly. So your liver is right up under your right rib cage. If you feel on this side, you'll feel the liver. It's your largest organ outside of your skin. It extends all the way to your left side. If you're feeling for your liver, you won't feel it because your ribs are in the way. If you can feel your liver, it means it's enlarged, in which case you should make an appointment with it. All right, so there are different hepatitis B for, just for clarification, acute hepatitis B and chronic hepatitis B. What is it? Well, this is a mild disease. You get this, hepatitis B is an acute form usually. Most people get over acute hepatitis B, particularly when you get it as an adult. You get over this. This is not what we're talking about, because most people who get this are fine. They may not even know they have it. You may think you have the flu. This is what we're talking about. This chronic hepatitis B, unfortunately, is very serious. Leads to all the long-term problems with hepatitis B. Will lead to cancer at any stage of the disease. So, I know it's after lunch, but a few things here. This, you see the yellowing of the eyes, it's not very clear, but this is scleral icterus. So this is usually the first sign that people know or family members think something is wrong, or we should go see a doctor. As soon as I get the other pictures up, I'll show you some of the other problems that we see in common. Thank you. Bear with me, but it's important that you see this. Some family members of yours may have some of this. Again. Okay, so I'll take it. Okay, so the next part of it is huge enlarged belly. This is fluid filled within the belly when you've reached the end stage of liver disease, usually cirrhosis. And that cirrhosis obviously also increases the risk of other things you may notice, swelling of the legs. And this is both legs, usually diffuse swelling all throughout the abdomen, the body. This is a common one, whether young, old, no matter what age. This is fluid filled within the abdomen. This is just what some of you may not be aware of. This is worldwide distribution. You can see hepatitis C in the world. 257 million people living with that disease. I want you to pay attention. 60 million of those are in Africa. Okay? Now, the next one to your right should shock you. Highest cases of prevalence of hepatitis B. Take a look at where Cameroon is. So that tells you it's extremely high. Cameroon, Nigeria, all those countries. Okay? Alright, so hepatitis B causes liver cancer, and I'm going to focus mostly on that because we can treat every other type, except liver cancer poses a particular problem in our population. And as I said, young, old, it doesn't matter. So there's hundreds of 20-year-olds get liver cancer or hepatitis B. Again, cancer at any age. However, if we suppress if we find out you're infected and we simply suppress the virus, we can prevent you from getting liver cancer. So, what should you take away from that? What should you do now? That's the title of this whole talk, okay? First thing is, if you were not born in the United States, ask your doctor, please test my hepatitis B status. Simple, if you want to write that down. Please check my hepatitis B status. Can you repeat that? Please check my hepatitis B status. Just ask that. And if they say, well, what do you mean with it? Just say, okay, at worst, please check a hepatitis B surface antigen. This is the test. this is the test. Please take a picture of this slide. If your primary doctor may not even be aware of this, because if you're not seeing me, a gastroenterologist or hepatologist, primary care doctors will never order this test. Gynecologists order this on pregnant women all the time, but they will not check this, especially the men in the room, older women in the room, okay? So please check the status. If this is negative, great, nothing else. If this is positive, well, you'll need to have, they'll automatically refer you because they'll panic at seeing that, okay? So with that, I'll end the talk. I'll take any questions now or after. Thank you.
Now, this is how. If any of you here have a parent that is a U.S. citizen or a permanent resident, they need to adopt children in Cameroon. For those of us who came and did not know it, we can't do it. Now, here's the adoption law in the United States. If you adopt a child, and I've had a lot of people call me when they've done it and we could not do anything about it. If you adopt a child back home and you're living in the United States, fine. You can file the application for that child. It's going to be approved. But when that child goes to the embassy, they're going to deny the visa. And this is why. When you adopt a child, you have to live with that child for 2 years, physically present. It's not that you sponsor the child for 2 years. You have to be physically present with the child for 2 years. Now, you're in the United States, the child is in Cameroon. You're not physically present with the child. So when you go to the embassy, they're going to deny the visa. And a lot of people have come back to me, oh, I adopted the child, I sponsored the child for 2 years, I paid school fees. They've denied the visa. I said, no, you did not stay with the child. That's what American law requires. Now, let's look at how we go around it. You can adopt anybody, even your siblings. Okay, people don't know that. So you can adopt your siblings. Our parents are the best way to do this because we're bringing a lot of them here and they come and go back. Okay? Now, first thing they need to do is adopt the child first in Cameroon. Okay? Because a lot of kids are staying with our families at home. They're not adopted. Legally, they're not our children. Even though in our customs and tradition, they are our kids. America does not look at it that way. So please, first thing they need to do is adopt the children legally in Cameroon. Even if they're not going, because if you have a hope of bringing your parents here, let them adopt children first. Okay? While you're preparing to try to bring them here. Because strategically, you can bring those children. Now, you want to adopt children that are at least 10 years old because there's a process. And under American law, when they turn 16, you can no longer adopt them. So, because there's going to be time strategically adopt young kids. So, mom is in Cameroon, your dad is in Cameroon, you're hoping to bring them here. Kids that are living at home, or family members, or anybody, let them go adopt them first. Legally, follow the process in Cameroon. Now, when they get here, they become U.S. citizens or permanent green card holders. Time starts ticking. American law is going to look at the time they adopted that child. Okay? Because at that time, the child is at home. So when your mother goes back, every time your mother stays with that child, when they're going back and forth, the 2 years counting. It's not continuous. It's 2 years. They have to be resident with that child for 2 years. And then when mom comes here and becomes a citizen, mom files for the child. The child is going to come here as mom's child. It's very important for us to do that because we can help a lot of our family members through our parents. Those of us who are here, except you're going to be home for 2 years, then you can do that. Now, these are for children whose parents, one of the parents is still alive. For orphans, there's no 2 years. So you can adopt an orphan and come back here and sponsor the orphan. The problem is that with us in Cameroon, there's just too much fraud. So the US doesn't even, the US embassy sometimes don't even believe that the child is an orphan. Okay? Because we can make any document anytime. Alright? So that one is a little problematic. People have tried to make these documents to try to get the child and it's just tough. So, but if that child is an orphan and you can get your documents correct and you're lucky, at the embassy you can bring the child. That's what most Americans do when they go to China, those places to adopt. They go to the orphanage, remember? Because most of these orphans are in the orphanages. In our country, I think a few people are doing orphanages now, except you're adopting the child from the orphanage and the orphanage is giving you some certification. It's going to be very tough for orphans. We don't have a culture where our orphans are in some house or some home. most of them are living with families. So orphans are a little tough. That 2-year requirement is not there. So that's one piece of immigration that we need to really work on. Use our parents to adopt children. I see a lot of them here. They go home from time to time. Please adopt some children there when you go. Strategically keep them around 10 years old. And then through your journey here in the United States, when you become a citizen, you bring them as your child. All right? Keep your documentation clean. Don't go to these fake people who will give you something. No, go to the court. Use a lawyer, go through the court process so that you get your documents and you hold them. The documents will be in the court registry, because America, what do? They go back to the court where that child was adopted to go to the book and look at the year. They don't just call somebody. I've had a lot of cases where people do stuff like marriages and they go sign some paper somewhere, they pay somebody and get some paper. The US government is going back to the court where, or even in the village, they go to Fontaine where that marriage took place. They want to see the mayor's book. And sometimes the people go cut papers from the current book. If you said you married in 2000, your marriage is in the book of 2010. They go there, they want to see the marriage book of 2000. So please, let's avoid fraudulent documents. There are ways we can help by going through the legal channels. Don't do things fraudulently. In the 90s, the US did not know Cameroon very well. So a lot of people did all kinds of fraudulent things and got away with it. But now they know Cameroon very well. I went back home. I sought audience with the consul at the US Embassy in Cameroon. He and I sat down and this guy told me stories. He told me that this is the worst place he's worked. At that time we were in downtown Yaoundé where the embassy was. He told me that every morning when they were coming to work, they passed kiosks where they were making fake documents. They told the Cameroon government, they don't do nothing about it. And the guy confessed to me that here, there is no way they can know who is genuine and who is not. He confessed that they've given visas to people who do not merit it, and they've denied visas to people who merit it, because they cannot tell good from bad. And we are the ones, we in the diaspora are the ones creating these problems. Okay, because we send money to people to go make documents. No, don't do that. Let people do things genuinely. Will help a lot of our family members, especially in this time of crisis. We have to be strategic, because a lot of these young kids who are now displaced with their families, our future is going to depend on these kids, and we try to get them here. So very important. Second thing I'm going to talk about is here in the United States, our children. I was made a chief in 2016, and the first thing that came to my mind was, how am I going to uphold this destiny that has been given to me and pass it on to my children? It's a tough one for those of us who are chiefs here. Okay, and I have 3 sons. Good. But all of those kids were born here. And it's been tough to try to get them to the culture, because they don't really get it. And the worst part of it is where they're interacting. Who are they interacting with? Americans, white girls. Okay, I'll give you the code of my son. My first son is 21. He's in South Dakota, St. Augustana University. He's a football player there. You know what they do with these football players? Okay? Every one of these stars that you see, very rare that you see any of them married to an African. They always end up with white women. Now, what is going on? White people are very strategic. They are very forthcoming, unlike our own children. In our culture, women don't talk to men. The man has to come to the woman. But in this culture, if a woman likes a man, the woman approaches the man too. Okay? And if you're a star, they look at their future, they're beginning to see that, hey, this guy is going to make it. And that if you see the quarterback in every football team has the most beautiful girlfriend. Okay? So, I mean, you just watch it a little bit. Okay? And even the parents of these girls tell them that they encourage them, because they are looking at the future. The future has to be secure. So our children are at risk of getting away from our culture. You all look at it. How many of them are married to Africans? Not to talk about married to Cameroonian, not to talk about married to someone who is from the BLM. It's a dangerous thing that's happening. This LECDA that we're building, 20 years will not be here. I can guarantee you that the except will make a change. Okay? And we got to go back to what our parents did, what they did to our parents. My mother did not fall in love with my father. Sometimes I look at them and I'm like, these people, is there any love here? They were brought together. My grandfather looked at that beautiful girl of that next compound. going to marry my son. That's how these relationships were made, and they've lasted long. My parents will be 55 years in marriage today. Okay? And what I say when they invite me to weddings and I have to talk, I tell people that, look, marriage is tie-hand. It's not love. Okay? Oh, we come to this culture to tell you about love. No, it's not love. It's tie-hand. Okay? Because if you see our mothers, and some of you know some of the things that our parents, our dads used to do, okay? You ask your mother, why were you still in this body? Because our dads were just out there. They were having kids with other women, they were drinking, doing all kinds of stuff. But mom was still there. Mom was there because of what? The children. And that's why we've turned out to be like we are today. Thank you, mothers. You have done well. Okay? So we have to start thinking that same way for these children that we're having here. We need to start matchmaking them. We need to connect them. Okay? If you don't do that, they are going to marry white people, they are going to marry Hispanics, they are going to marry African Americans, and this whole thing we're doing here is going to die. Alright? So, for you poor young people here, it's very important. Now, let me give you an example, and I tell my kids this every day. I said, look, I'm going home. As soon as the last one is in 10th grade. When he gets to college, I'm out of here. Because these kids are not going to take care of you as we are taking care of our parents. They are not. And it's going to be even worse if they marry from another country. Okay? Because you're going to call them, hey, Denzel, I'm coming to visit you guys. Denzel is now married to a white woman. Can they go in a hotel to invite them to dinner? That's how you're going to end up. And then the other worst piece is don't be here and fall sick. Look at the culture we're building. We are a little flexible because we grew up in Cameroon knowing that we have to take care of our parents. They are growing up knowing that they don't have to. So when you fall sick here, they are putting you in that nursing home. Alright? Don't worry about it. They are going to put you because they cannot take care of you. Okay? So please, I know our country is bad now, but it's going to be better, and let's think about going home. The other piece of going home is that the Cameroon, this is our generation, is the one that's going to change Cameroon, and we're already doing it. Okay? These guys are in the bush fighting. But those of us who are here in the diaspora, we are the ones who are...
Single women in the house. I know we might have some single men around. I actually my own sister standing back there. She's single, so please make the connections. On that note, I'll call on the next speaker, and that's going to be Mama Chiara Fontaine.
There's no Mama.
Ma Fontaine.
Thank you. I would like to say I'm only the representative of the Folklore movement. Message from the Folklore movement on the occasion of the Silver Jubilee of LECDA, USA. The legacy of Mama Chiara Mafwandem in the Bialam. Ladies and gentlemen, all protocol duly respected, may we invite you to stand for a moment's silence as we remember Mama Chiara Mafwandem of blessed memory. May her soul and the souls of all the faithful departed, through the mercy of God, rest in peace. Amen. Please sit down. We are delighted to offer our best wishes to LECDA on this wonderful occasion of its Silver Jubilee. When Mr. Fomenga founded this association 25 years ago, he set a very high ideal, that of consolidating solidarity so as to promote cultural awareness and values. Your presence here today confirms your adherence to such a goal. Furthermore, over the years, LECDA has defined its mission in order to reach the goal of sustained solidarity, providing support, advice, and fellowship.
Please, let's welcome the say. Say is coming down to bless. You know, the say is a blessing dance. The mother, twin mothers, the twin and twin father is a sign of prayer to God. The say is led by the Houston chapter coming down to bless the house. Thank you very much. Thank you for the blessing. Thank you. Thank you.
Dr. Ndemanu is Your Majesty, Dr. Ndemanu is the CEO. Mrs. Becky Amin is the Vice CEO in charge of projects. Mr. Pascal Etiendem is our Chief Financial Officer. Mr. Valentine is our new Public Relations Officer, and Mr. Fonkem Blasius is our Chief Information Officer. That is the new leadership of LECDA.
Comté, Avo Attitude, Aga, as a board executive, LECDA USA. I know the land before the Villam. Mutile, but you are. My advisors, my phone, about the movement developers, because the song reganga over your dish, I pitch was at the Koluba. So, but circulate destiny, what fate, Levialem, and all movable. If I can string the work, we bring a lot of trust, we bring Kong, Mbong T, and LECDA USA. Both executive, you will go from the I call LECDA. All Bolivian, every America. It's one family more. Thank you.
sisters to get ready. Bring our sisters to be ready. Thank you, thank you, thank you, Mr. Thank you, Wilson. Thank you. Time. The time is up. That's good, Mr. President. Thank you.
Hello. Thank you, President, and it is my unique honor to be at the pilot seat for this wonderful event. It has been very successful so far, and I will say this several times today, but let's start by doing it. Let's give a wonderful hand of applause to the Houston chapter for the wonderful job so far. They are really amazing. They took the bull by the horns, they formed a chapter, and then they went ahead and hosted the convention, and they did it extraordinary. That was wonderful. I want to especially welcome our guests here. We understand some other people are still on the way, but we look forward to having a wonderful time with you tonight. It has been a very exhausting journey. We started yesterday with a barbecue. There was an after party. People did not sleep. First thing in the morning, we were here for deliberation, very successful deliberation. Everything has been so wonderful, and I think we are here to cut the tea and dot the I's and celebrate a successful convention. I want to say a very warm welcome to our guests here. And again, today is our celebration. And one main event that will be happening this evening is fundraising. We are here as an organization. We know a lot of people who bought tickets to be here to support this organization. There will be some exercises here that are solely intended to raise funds, and we badly need money. In a hall, there are very rare occasions like this that we are dancing with His Majesty. We are blessed to have him here. He did pour libation at the entrance of that door, and we are dancing with Belem. I will also recognize the president of our outgoing CEO, Professor Gresham. Let's give him a hand. I'm sure he's a very proud person today to have taken care of this precious organization and handed it over to a team that he has confidence in. And seated by himself, Mr. Professor Mike Ndemanu, who took over office a couple of hours ago. And I don't think we made a mistake because the way he's dressed this evening shows that he's supposed to be the next CEO. Let's give him another hand.
Thank you so much, Mr. MC. His Royal Majesty the Founder from Jumito, Honorable Mafua, all protocol respected, the new CEO, the chairman of the night, ladies and gentlemen, welcome. I am the lucky man, a lucky man whose term of office has brought us to this point. And before I say anything, please let's give a round of applause to LECDA Houston. My goodness, look at these beautiful ladies. Let's put our hands together for our beautiful ladies. The men are not joking. Let's clap for the handsome men. And of course, let's clap for our beautiful children. My brothers and sisters, one more good evening. It is an honor to address you for the very last time as the president of this wonderful organization. We took over some 3 years ago, and through the blessing of God and through your support, you have actually made us to make some strides towards a positive future. And for that we are grateful. Our respectful guests, this is the Liberian community, a community which is vibrant in its cultural display, a community that is very progressive in what it does, a community that is very steadfast in everything it does. And this community has come to Houston to solidify the 25 years of existence of this wonderful, wonderful organization. And you being part of this big dream, you being part of this quarter of a century that we've been in existence is a big thing, and for that we thank you. Please put your hands together for our guests. And with that, I'll not talk so much. Thank you so much for everything you've done. And please, even the course of the 3 years I've been your president, if I acted in error, if I ever did something wrong and used the wrong word, I kindly ask for forgiveness. It was never my intention to hurt anybody, or to use the wrong word, or to ignore anybody, or not to embrace. I came with all full purpose to love and to produce. And because of doing that, you may ruffle shoulders, or feathers, so to say, and I'm very sorry if I ever did that. I'm sure I wronged somebody. Forgive me. And trust me, I don't have any grudges against anybody. You did your best to support me. And that's why we are here with my BOT. Thank you, BOT, and welcome to the new BOT. Let's raise the money. Thank you.
Professor Gesem is taking his exit. Another professor is coming in. And again, it has to be short. DJ Skipper is the highest 3 minutes. After 3 minutes, stop making people angry. So I would like Professor Mike Ndemanu to say a word, the incoming CEO.
Ladies and gentlemen, protocol respected, I'm just overwhelmed with these heavy responsibilities that you have bestowed on me. I wasn't coming here with any plan to even serve on the board again, because I've done it for quite some time. But given level of pressure that was coming from left and right, I decided to accept this position. But I can assure you that you will not regret that decision. I'm somebody who hates failure. And I'm very goal-driven. So I'm thinking of convening a board meeting just 1 week from today with already some goals put together for us to discuss at the level of the board. And just briefly, I want to just tell you a little bit how I came to know LECDA. When I came to this country in 2006, that was October 2006, 7 months later, I learned that there was going to be LECDA in Columbus, Ohio. That was in 2007. And that's where I met somebody like Dr. Pam Fonju. She did a presentation about her, and I was very moved by it. But just think about it. I was in Oklahoma City and a graduate student. But I decided, that is just 7 months into the US, I decided to be part of that convention in Columbus. And so I didn't have enough money to fly from Oklahoma City to Columbus. So I went by Greyhound. That was 22 hours one way. Right? But when I got there, I was very impressed with what I saw. And so the subsequent year, I think it was in Boston. And I went to Boston and many other conventions that have taken place. So just to tell you that I believe those who were pushing for me to take over the leadership were not making a mistake. They must have read my commitment to LECDA. And so, as I said earlier, you will not be disappointed. So just wait and see the result. 2 things that we intend to focus on will be humanitarian assistance to the community back home. And then the second thing will be the reconstruction of Liberia, given the level of destruction that has taken place there. And then many other things will follow. Let me stop here. Thank you very much for listening.
Thank you. I will hand over to the chairman to start the launching. He's a man of ability. Maybe he will give $5,000. Maybe 10. Let's wait and hear.
Your Royal Majesty, my force, the chiefs, all protocol respected, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to this very unique event in Houston. Before I continue, I want to thank again the Houston chapter of LECDA for hosting us, and they have done so well. So can we give them a hand of applause, please? Tonight, we only have 2 things, to donate and to dance. So, and I will just do that. I want to plead on everybody, as the MC have said, that please, if you forgot your checkbook at a hotel or in your cars, you can start looking for them, or start looking for your keys, or give us some pledges here. I'm sure they're going to take them, they're going to honor that, and they're going to follow through the pledges. We need a lot of money to continue this wonderful organization, and without that, we cannot continue. That said, I will want to start this donation with a sum of $500.
Thank you so much. We're choosing chairman. And we'll move over to the president of Houston.
Thank you very much. I'm so overjoyed with the success of this event, because it started all the way on Friday to this moment. And to cut the whole long story short, on behalf of my beautiful wife seated right there, the First Lady, and my two beautiful kids who are not here because they have been here since yesterday and they are now sleeping, and my humble self, I'm going to write a check of, how many of us are there? Okay, I'm going to write a check of $200.
Thank you, President. Thank you. Dr. Nelson, come on, thank you. Finally, you are here. You made it. We are very proud to have you here. Like I said, charity begins at home. You can talk for 30 minutes. The more you talk, the more we expect. That is just the rule.
On behalf of my wife and I, we'd like to give $1,000.
There you go. You know, thank you so much.
My wife has pledged $1,000. I will give $500.
Thank you.
First, I'd like to thank all the members of LECDA Houston, all the chairs of all the different committees, all the chairs of all the committees who have worked so hard. Please, let's give a special round of applause for Cynthia, who worked with those children today at that presentation. I can tell you it was not easy, but she did a wonderful, wonderful job, so really congratulate her. Thank you, that's Miss Cynthia, thank you so much. The Jinjos kicked this off with enthusiasm almost 6 months ago, and much of the participation for the whole group really depended on their initial interest and involvement. So please give them a round of applause. And I know everyone enjoyed the lunch today. The ladies of the food committee worked very hard for that. So please give them a round of applause. And for the barbecue from last night, it was Mr. Marius, Mr. Felix, who did very well. So please give them all a round of applause. The drinks and barbecue committee, Dr. Remy, for really organizing most of that. So thank you so much. But we would be remiss if I did not recognize someone who was absolutely invaluable throughout this whole thing. He's been involved here. So on behalf of LECDA Houston, we'd like to call Brother Primus to come up here, please. Where is he? Thank you so much. On behalf of LECDA Houston, thank you so much. my dear partner in life and my best friend, my dear wife. She has worked tirelessly to put all of this together. She was on every committee and every committee meeting and down to every last detail and how much salt was put in the food. I really want to appreciate her because without her, it would have been impossible to do this. So this is an award for outstanding community service to my dear lovely wife, Nelo Kelly. President, for all your support, and please enjoy yourselves. Thank you.
Oh, salo, sa, oh, salo, sa, oh, salo, oh, salo, sa, oh, salo, sa, oh, salo. Mami get go back, I won't go there. Mami get go sale, I won't go there. Papa get go back, I won't go there. Papa get go salo, I won't go there. Why you? Tambong je sa bong ye, tambong je me bong lo.
This melody keeps ringing in my head. I try to make my sin now, see the name. I was still young. I had to think of love, I had to put in words. It's a beautiful song. Who lo sé, you know. It's a beautiful song. My vision say que você começar. It's good for your soul and food for my soul. In case you didn't know. Now let me see your hand if you're feeling this song. Yeah, mama. Now don't get to me there. When mama see my dog come by. Now don't get to me there. Me and me don't be there, mama. Come on, cosa. Hey.
To your